All right, this video is just a quick video to help you get started with using CodeWarrior. So we're going to follow these guidelines. We're going to copy a zipped project into some space we make on our desktop that we'll use for our CodeWarrior work. We'll unzip the project, then we'll import it into CodeWarrior and get it running. And then we'll copy that a given source file into our workspace. So let's do the first thing. So in Moodle, you should have a zipped project that we can use for assembler projects. So the first thing I'll do is I'll create a new folder. So I right-click out here, right-click, new folder, and this is my CodeWarrior space. There it is. And now I'm going to copy from Moodle. I've got this zipped project, and it's the assembler project. I click on it. I want to save it as, and I'm going to save it in that space I just created, CodeWarrior space. Save it. Let's go back and see it. There it is. I right-click on it, extract all, and I'm going to backspace here, just like this. And now I should have another folder. Okay, so it's the same folder. If I didn't do that backspace thing, I'll show you what will happen. Right-click, extract all. If I just do it like this, I'll give it another name here. I'll put an S here so it won't try to extract. And what happens is now I have a folder. This is the one I just unzipped. But inside there's this folder, so it's sort of nested. I don't want that. So I have to backspace when I do that. Okay, so here's my unzipped project. So I've done this. Now I unzipped it. Now I want to import it into CodeWarrior. So now I need to open CodeWarrior. And CodeWarrior can be in a lot of places. There should be a useful shortcuts tab, possibly. And it looks like this magnifying glass. So I double click on that. Now it's asking me where is my workspace, and it's the one I just created. So if one comes up there and it's not the one that you recognize, I want to use this one. It's not that's not the workspace that I'm pointing to. So I'm going to hit browse, CodeWarrior space, and that's it. Just click on that. That's my space that I'm going to use. Don't go into any of the subfolders. CodeWarrior space. It'll ask me to see if I want to see the expired licenses. No, I don't. And I'm going to close this helpful first thing here. I'll just get right into CodeWarrior as fast as I can. Okay, now I'm ready to import it. So there's nothing in here right now. This is where my project should be listed, but it's not, even though it's in the folder, it's not yet in CodeWarrior. So what I want to do is get it in here. So I need to go in CodeWarrior. Now I'm in CodeWarrior. File, Import, General, Existing Projects into Workspace. Where am I? I'm in my CodeWarrior space. Again, not the subdirectory, the top directory, CodeWarrior space. It'll find it. There it is. There's the project. And then finish. here's the project. Okay, now that you've got your project imported, so you've imported a project, over here you can see the various pieces of the project. These folders and files reflect what is already in the project in Windows. So if in Windows you see there's source folder and there's project folder and so on, and over here in the CodeWarrior project you can see the same folders appear. Now all the action that you're going to be taking is in the source folder. That's where our source code is. So I may give you, for instance, next week some source code to do X, Y, and Z. You would put it in your source folder and make it active or not active. And you can see which source file is active because it's got an arrow by it, and the ones with dashes through them are not active. So now that I've got it here, if I wanted to build it in order to compile the project, I would go Project, Build All. It builds this. If I want to edit something, double click on it and it appears in this window and I can edit this. This is code that a user has created, in this case me. So this is sort of raw code that you can change and edit as you need to. Okay, so we've imported a project into CodeWarrior. Now let's get some source code that I may give you, for instance, next week. So if I go back to Moodle, here's some source code for Lab 1, and I want to use this source code. So what I'm going to do is right-click on it here, save it in my CodeWarrior space, the project that I imported, and in my source folder. So this is in CodeWarrior space, in the project, source folder, and I'm just going to save it. Make sure it saves as a .asm file, ASM meaning assembler file. Save it. Okay, now it should be there. And there it is. Okay, now when I go to CodeWarrior, it's not here yet because I have to do something to make it part of the project. So what I'll do is I'm going to build it again. Project, build all, and there it appears. Okay, it's still got a cross through it, but at least it's part of the project. So let's say I want to compile Lab 1 and not Lecture 5. So I right-click on Lecture 5, Resource Configurations, Exclude from Build. I'm going to exclude it from this build. So check that. Now Lecture 5 is out. Now I'm going to right-click on this one, Resource Configuration, Exclude from Build. It's already got a check, so I'm going to uncheck it. Okay, now it's Lab 1. Now Project, build it. And it's a completely different project that I've just compiled now. So this is Lecture or Lab 1. So that should get you going in terms of importing a project and using source code that I may give you.